There's an old story of a sailor who was caught in a terrible storm. The waves crashed violently over the sides of a small boat. The wind howled and lightning split the sky. He was terrified, certain that the boat was going to capsize. But beside him sat the old helmsman, calm as ever, and steering with steady hands. When the storm finally passed, the sailor said, "How could you stay so calm during that?" The sea was raging. We were in so much danger. And the old man smiled and said, "Because I wasn't focused on the waves. I dwell in the stillness deep within. The outer sea may rage, but the inner sea is always calm." The outer sea may rage, but the inner sea is always calm. Can't you feel that? Feel that activity at the surface. And beneath the waves, deep in the sea, is that stillness. And that's the truth of who we are. Within us, there is always a stillness, no matter what may be going on within us and around us. Haven't you experienced that? In the midst of everything, if you're paying attention, you can feel that stillness. You can feel that quiet. I was reading to you this morning from one of the Unity booklets, Mindful Moments, Finding Peace, Finding Meaning. And with this reading, with this breath am I at peace. With this breath am I at peace. A gentle question to ask yourself as you're going throughout your day. To ask yourself at any moment, when you stop to pay attention, when you stop to come into that mindfulness, with this breath am I at peace? So I had an experience this week where this would have come in handy. I was in Costco in Santa Cruz, hoping to visit their T-Mobile kiosk, but the Costco in Santa Cruz does not have T-Mobile, they have AT&T. And I went in with a mission. I was focused, I had a mission. My granddaughter was with me, and I was the one doing the speaking, and we walked up to first I was looking for T-Mobile, and they weren't anywhere around, so I began to feel anxious, I guess, or confused maybe would be a better word for it. And I walked up to the AT&T kiosk, and I asked the young man who was there, "Is T-Mobile not here?" And he said, no, they don't have, T-Mobile's not here, it's AT&T. And he immediately said to me, "How many lines do you have?" And what? I was already processing my disappointment, because I was disappointed. I felt disappointed that T-Mobile wasn't there and I wasn't going to be able to do what I wanted to do. And, but he immediately, at least in what I heard, he immediately, instead of saying, "How can I help you? What are you looking for today?" Whatever, it was immediately, "How many lines do you have?" And I'm going, "No, I don't want any more lines." It was like, and I said, I don't know what I said. What did I say? I said, I just kind of went, no, I'm not interested in that, but can you at least tell me while we're standing here what your basic plans are? And he immediately said, oh my God, listen to me. I'm still attached. One, I know I am because I'm telling you the story, but it also fits into my talk. But two, I can feel it. I can feel it in my body, and something wonderful is not happening right now. He immediately said to me, our 55 and over plan you got it, right? You got it. And I went, oh, no, you are making an assumption. And I was okay. I did not get out of control, but I was triggered. This is when, with this breath, am I at peace? Would have been nice. And really all I did was did a little grandma schooling and saying, you are really making an assumption here. And that's not what I'm asking for. And he just stopped and like, okay. But isn't that interesting? I'm going to have to go and obviously work on this some more to let go of it. Maybe I will be over it by the time I tell you guys. Don't you love the way I come and do my talks and just embarrass myself all over the place? I don't know what was going on in his life. I know what's going on in my life and what my goal was, what I wanted to accomplish. And my granddaughter and I walked around, decided we didn't need anything at Costco at that moment, so we left. But we talked about this on the way out and how important it is to be able to not upsell people, because that's what this guy was immediately doing. He just saw somebody coming. He probably has a quota, a goal to make, and he just wanted to do business and make a sale and whatever. And my granddaughter shared a story with me of a job that she worked as a canvasser and knock on doors and begin to speak to whatever it was whoever she was working with, and the people would say, no, I'm not interested. You are trying to do this, and you want to sell me that, and you're going to do this. And my granddaughter said, she would say, yep, you're absolutely right. You have a good day, and I'll see you later. And she would just walk away. She did not do that job very long. And I told her about the time that I, in my infinite wisdom, many years ago, between jobs, I took a job selling catastrophic health insurance. As a Unity minister, well, I wasn't a minister then. I was several years away from being a Unity minister, but as a Unity person, it's really hard to sell catastrophic health insurance. You know, it just doesn't work. Selling doom and gloom. Oh my gosh. So we had a good laugh. And it has continued, obviously, to stay with me. And one of the questions that I have asked myself is, what within me gets triggered? So that's the question I'm asking you to think about whenever those moments of impatience and intolerance and flat out annoyance shows up for you in a way that, I mean, it wasn't that big of a deal, right? Or was it? At the same time. For it's given me an opportunity to reflect and to ask, what within me from my past am I carrying that still allows me to get triggered by people trying to upsell me, or by having someone do that ageism thing. As I thought about this in the last couple days, I remembered a time, again, many, many years ago, where, I must have been in my 30s. And my brother-in-law, who was in his 20s, went with me to a tire store or something about my car. And I took my brother-in-law with me so that I had another set of ears to, deal with what I needed to take care of. And that salesman, he made the mistake of when I kept asking him questions and he was trying to, what we now know as mansplain to me, he actually turned to my brother-in-law and said, will you please tell your mother? That one did not go down quite as gently. So many of us have had instances of this kind of thing, especially if you're a woman. I don't know about you guys, I don't walk in your skin, but as women, we often have to deal with this kind of experience. Why am I going down this rabbit hole? But to ask, to just be inquisitive, to wonder, why am I still being triggered? Now I can tell you the story about the car guy from my 30s without having any energy around it. But it did come to my mind when I was reflecting on what is it that drives it? And the bigger question is, how do I move beyond it? How do I move beyond it? So that when things like the guy in Costco show up, instead of getting triggered, and I wasn't over the top triggered, but I was triggered. How do I remember, with this breath, am I at peace? Where in your life do you want to find more peace? From Matthew 5:9, blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called the children of God. Blessed are the peacemakers. We cannot be truly at peace until we find the inner peace within us. We can show up and be peaceful, but until we heal some of those old wounds and those places within us, if we can catch them and shine the light into them and love ourselves through them and find a deeper inner peace, then we can be more effective peacemakers out into the world. Matthew 14:27, peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled and do not be afraid. This is Jesus to the disciples in the upper room. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Find a place within yourself to, no matter how beautiful and peaceful you feel that you are and how you have attained this peace, can you go even deeper? can you find that place where there is more light and where there is more love? In Unity, we talk about there is only one presence. Peace isn't something to chase, it's something to remember. And from our second principle, the Spirit of God lives within every person. It is the Christ consciousness within us that calls us back to peace. To find that breath, to find that peace, to consciously breathe and be love out into the world. Diane Keaton. Bless her and all the joy that she has given us over the years as we lost her yesterday. We lost her on the physical plane. But this quote, beautiful makes you come back for more. It makes you ask questions. It's vast, unknowable, and magnificent. That's part of its power. It makes you think about the experience it's giving you. I read this quote and I went, oh, thank you, Diane, because peace makes you come back for more. For peace is beautiful. It makes you come back for more. It makes you ask questions. It's vast and it's unknowable and magnificent. And that's part of its power. And don't we all want more of that? More beauty, more peace, more laughter and joy, more light. So how to practice peace? We find our breath. With this breath, am I at peace? And from that breath, we come into awareness. As with me, asking that question, why is it XYZ? What is it? What is it that is still moving me? What is it that is still triggering me? What is it that is keeping me away from a deeper peace? And then forgiveness. In whatever way that shows up for you, it could be for yourself, it could be towards another person or a situation. And then always to go into gratitude. Giving thanks that you are taking a breath, that you are able to be aware, that you are willing to forgive, and all of the other beautiful and amazing things in your life. And from that place, to find the silence, to be at deep peace. In the midst of your busyness, you can do all of this. With this breath, am I at peace? So just feel that for a moment as you close your eyes. And just feel that peace within you. Breathing into the peace, into the love. Feeling the forgiveness of all that may be around you, within the world. And let that statement of forgiveness just be a gentle, I love you. Whatever it is, I love you. And I am grateful. And so it is. And so now, in this state of awareness and deep peace. We come into gratitude for Unity of Merced. Brazino and your beautiful music, thank you. And for each and every one of you, the gratitude that we can be here with each other, to hold each other in the highest of light and love and healing. And we take our love offerings in our hands and we affirm together. As I experience the awakening of divine consciousness, I offer this gift in celebration and thanksgiving.